Well, welcome to another Waynos Fotos camera video, and today we're going to be talking about some lighting products, and specifically some lighting products from Westcott. Now, I just bought some Speedlights and a trigger from Westcott, which we're going to be looking at and reviewing. But what I found is when I was trying to evaluate them or find out some information about these products, it was very difficult. There was their ambassador people who used the products, and there was also their internal people they employ to make videos about these products. And there was very, very little people out there who do independent reviews on these Westcott products. So since I was buying them, I've got a few YouTube channels. I thought, look, I'm going to put out some information about these products so it helps you guys if you're ever looking at these products. Now, basically, this flash unit that Westcott put out, which is called the FJ80, it's like a direct competitor to the ProPhoto A1 and the Godox V1. So it looks very similar. It's got that round head on it. It does a lot of the same stuff. It has a modeling light in it the same. It also has a electronic zoom function inside that zooms the light in and out. And yeah, it does the same sort of stuff. The power, the wattage, I think is the same. It's around about 80. So they're very competitive in the way they work. So we're going to have a look at these initially. I'm not going to do any actual use of them on models. That will be coming in a future video. So remember to subscribe and like, so when that comes around, you're not going to miss it. But what we're going to be looking at today is basically the build quality, how they work, why I purchase these, because I had to get them from America. They don't sell them in Australia where I live, and you know, you have to pay a lot of taxes and shipping and that. So I went to quite a lot of effort to specifically get these Speedlights. Well, the reason why I wanted to get this Westcott products, in particular, is because I like that the user interface, and that really intrigued me about this product, because a lot of the products, like I've been using some Canon ones, is that they're just not very intuitive to use. Okay, you can learn them, but when you're taking photos, you're worrying about composition and you're worrying about all these other things that are happening around you. You're worrying about the power of your Speedlights and all that. The going to the menus I found very awkward. I didn't find it very intuitive, and I wanted to find some Speedlights that are very intuitive to use in a manual function, not in a TTL function, because I want to have control over my flash. And that's particularly why I looked at these. Now, when you switch it on, the flash right here, you'll see it comes up with a touch screen interface. And when you turn it on, it has a big number on it, just like the ProPhoto. And I like that format. And what it does is it goes from 1, which is the lowest, up to 9, which is the most powerful. So basically what you can do is you can just tap it, and then you can just change it down and up. And it's really easy to do that. And it's very intuitive. So you go, oh, look, it's on 2 and it's not bright enough. I can just push it up to 3 or 4. And you can also do that here from the trigger very, very easily. It tends to work a little bit like the other ones. You have some buttons on the side. You can select your A, B, C, D. This actually has a few other channels. So I think it has like 8 or 9 channels, quite a lot. And you can operate them all from your trigger. So they're a pretty handy little unit, I think, to use. They're extremely intuitive, and you don't have to really think about quarter powers. You don't have to go into any sub-menus. You don't have to do anything like that. It just touches the screen, and you can just make the numbers go up or down, or you can just touch the trigger, and then you use the button here that's on the bottom. You press this down dial button to make it less trigger, and you press the top one to make it more. So it's a very intuitive system to use. Now, what is the actual flashes like for the build quality? Now, I've got actually a Canon 600EX, which is this one right here. I'll just pull that out and show you this one here. Now, if I was comparing the build quality of this Canon flash with the build quality of this Westcott flash, I would say that when you look at the dials and everything, you can see the Canon flash is made a bit better. The build quality is definitely better. There's no two ways about it. This one's not made as well as the Canon one. The finish and the way the plastic and the fit and the buttons and everything, they just feel more premium when you're using the flash. So it I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but the finish on it is not as much as the Canon ones. But then the Canon ones, they're not double in here in Australia, but they are significantly, probably about 40% more expensive than these ones. And this one here has a lot more functionality and versatility. So I like these ones better. I like my Canon flashes. I find them very difficult to use. Now, the other thing that I really like about these units is this here is really quite light as well, and it's got like a rechargeable battery in the back. It's not got pencil batteries. Same with this one here. It has got this big battery that unclips and comes out and clips back into the front here. Now, one thing that I've found that is a bit of a con, and I found this out pretty quickly, is that it's a Pro. What they've done is put a screw thread on the side of the flash unit. So that's kind of like a Pro, because you don't have to use that silly little adapter thing and stick it on top. And those things, like, always to me seem like a bit flimsy, especially if you're going to put them into some sort of modifier. But with this one here, they've got the screw, so you can screw it onto the side like this, and you can fit it into your modifier. And there's an adapter that you can buy from Westcott, which I bought, works absolutely 100%. And then you can put a modifier on, or you can put this into an umbrella. Works really well. Now, the problem with this screw thread on the side is the way they've designed it is that the battery clip is right next to the nil nut. So when you screw it in, it presses this button and it unlatches the one side of the battery. It still works. I haven't had it stop working yet, but it's kind of like a poor design. It's like they put the nil nut on after, when they forgot about the button here. Now, if you look at the new one that's been brought out, the FJ82, they've changed the way this battery mounts, and I would say that's why. And apparently also with the new one, even though all the functionality is the same, its thermal recycle is a little bit better, because these things here, apparently, if you use them too quickly, they will overheat and then they lag. I haven't had that experience so far. I'm not really a person who likes to keep the button pressed down. I like to check, once I take a photo, check the photo and so forth. So I'm not a person who's uses it like that and haven't experienced that so far. So that was a bit of a con, the way that they put that nil nut on. And, I was going, why is this battery popping out? And that's why. So my solution to it was to put like a little rubber grommet on the item that I'm screwing in here, and that just gives it that little bit of space so it doesn't press that button. But it is a little bit of a design flaw that Westcott did here, but they have cured that with the new unit. So that's the pros and cons of this flash. I mean, it's a Speedlite. It does what it says on the pack. It's very versatile, and there's also accessories that come with it, and you can see them here. And what I found is that gives the softest light without using a modifier is you use the diffuser and then you put the dome on. Now, the Westcott dome is a lot bigger than the Pro Photo and the Godox dome. And I really like that, because the bigger the dome, the bigger the light source coming from it. And with the diffuser, it uses a really soft light. The Godox one, which you can see next to it, that one's a lot smaller. And I haven't actually tried it. I just bought the Godox one because I can get that here locally. And I bought that because I wanted some CRT gels. The ones that I've got from Westcott are really kind of, what would you call it, artistic gels. They're a lot darker, and I just want something that's lighter just to put for correction, light correction. So I bought some of them, and I bought the whole Godox set. So the Godox has very similar. It has a back card that with a magnetic top. The magnetic top, they just clip on, and the domes just clip on, and all of the gels fit into these rings, and they all just clip on. So putting them on and off is very easy. The only thing is the gel takes a little bit of time to fit into the rings initially. So the accessories that Westcott offer with the flashes, especially the dome, I really like that dome. Works very well in cooperation with the diffuser. It also works well putting the dome on if you're using it in a modifier. It just helps get rid of it being a spot, especially if you've got an umbrella, makes the light spread a bit more. So those accessories are excellent. So in conclusion, what's my thoughts on them on this product so far? Now, as I said, it's not made premium. The build quality is not premium, But the flash so far to me works really well. And the reason why I bought it was because of the user interface, and that didn't disappoint. The user interface on this flash unit, I really like it. It's like so intuitive. Now, some people may argue that they can press less buttons on the Godox, and that may be so, but you need to know the menu. And if you're not using your flashes all the time, you pick it up and then you go, how the hell do I change this? Well, these things here, it's just like using your phone. You just touch it. It's very, very intuitive, very, very simple. So is the trigger, very intuitive, very easy to use. You don't even really have to learn it. You can just pick it up out of the box and not even read the instructions and just use them. And that's what I like. That's what I want with a flash. I want to be able to put a flash on my camera, and I just want it to be intuitive. I don't care if I have to press it more times. I just want it to be not some sub-menu and little buttons, and you got to go menu 1 and menu 2 and menu 3. I don't want that. And this product, really simple, easy to use, nice to use. And also the good thing about it, when it's sitting on your pole, which is off-camera flash, you can, if you want to, you can set it facing you and you can see these numbers. They're huge. You can see them very easily, especially if a person like me who wears glasses. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to leave the review on the Westcott FJ80 and the FJ-X3M trigger and the Westcott product. I think so far from what I've seen from it, works quite well, does what I want it to do, and it's a pretty strong competitor in the market, especially if you want something that's pretty intuitive to use. Okay, guys, leave your comments down below. If you've got any questions about the Westcott Speedlights and triggers, let me know what your questions are. I'll see if I can answer them for you, and I'll get that down in the comments. Okay, guys, that's where I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to see you next vid.